Siyakumukela Councillor Madlala, siyabonga ukuthi usivakashele kwi-podcast yanamuhla ezobe ithinta kakhulu ama-programs okuthuthukisa abantu abasebasha.
Siyabonga kakhulu, siyajabula nathi ukuba khona la.
In your opinion, Councillor Madlala, what is the significance of e-Youth Month, taking into consideration the social ills that are faced by young people in society?
The significance of this month is that we commemorate and celebrate the sacrifice of the 1976 generation of young people who stood up against a system that was oppressive based on race, and they saw the challenges in front of them and they decided to organize and face them. Today's youth is facing different challenges, the social ills, crime, unemployment, and many others. And we are encouraged this month, and we are reminded that generations before us have stood up against trying odds to ensure that they face and change the world for the better. And therefore, we are encouraged to do, encouraging the youth to do the same in facing the challenges they are faced with today. A lot has been done to improve the lives of young people in our country. Take, for instance, the issue of the opening of the doors of learning through your NSFAS and many other programs that the government of the day has provided. But many more remains undone, and therefore youth needs to be organized so that they can champion their own struggles towards the achievement of the goals of the Freedom Charter, which are a universal standard for a society that we want to build.
On the point of unemployment, can you please touch on the city's programs that aim to eradicate this challenge of unemployment, especially in the youth sector?
Yeah, no, thank you very much. The city has many programs that are geared towards the youth, but maybe let me start by thanking the mayor of our city, Mayor Kaunda, for announcing during the State of the City address that the city is finally doing away with the issue of experience as an essential requirement when people are applying for entry-level jobs. This is a direct response to what the youth of our country of our city has been saying, to say, we are fresh from universities, we are fresh from schools. Where do you think we get this experience from? So by announcing that, I think it's a step in the right direction. It's going to ensure that many of the young people who are unemployed will be absorbed in our city because we've removed that barrier. Secondly, during the State of the City address, the mayor announced that there's going to be an engagement of 400 metropolis officers. Now, that is the kind of job that is like reserved for the youth, because based on the Police Act, you can only be employed as a police officer when we are between the ages of 18 and 35. And therefore, it means those jobs are exclusively for young people. But overall, we know that the problem of unemployment is huge in our country, and therefore sometimes when initiatives are done, they are not felt. But the majority of the people in our workplace today, of the 26,000 odd employees, a large chunk of those are young people. So already the municipality has already started doing something, but there are various programs located in various departments. I'll start from the mayor's office. We have the Youth Development Office located at the mayor's office. It has its own budget to do programs, but also part of its responsibility is to coordinate all the departments to ensure that there is a youth element in all their programs and activities. That office has a back-to-school program that they run every year when the year starts, and it has assisted a lot of people, especially young people from disadvantaged backgrounds. They've issued uniforms. They also have a program which is geared to assist those people who would have applied at university and being accepted, but not having achieved their application in terms of NSFAS. And therefore, the barrier there will be you must have paid a registration fee by this date, otherwise you'll be excluded.
Yeah.
Therefore, the city comes in and pays. In the past few years, we've covered, I think, close to 7,000 students in terms of that financial aid in terms of those. We also have a bursary scheme that is geared for the top achievers who are coming from poor backgrounds. It is doing well. So that is just part of the programs that we are doing. This year, that office has set aside R1 million to deal with this issue of young people from poor backgrounds who are leaving matric without a learner's license or a driver's license. So R1 million is not too much of, it's not a very big sum of money, understanding the problem out there, but it's a step in the right direction to say there are kids that are going to, if you maybe estimated 7,000 per kid, you can see that we are going to do there's going to be impactful in terms of ensuring that some kids, especially those from poor backgrounds, are able to benefit. Then we have EThekwini Municipal Academy. The EThekwini Municipal Academy is a brainchild of this city that in future we want to have a fully fledged university that services the needs of our city. One of the problems we've encountered in the past was the complaint that we have many unemployed graduates. But when you drill deep into that, you'll find that there's a skills mismatch where you'll find that the skills that the city is looking for is not the skills that are being produced by your local universities. Now we decided that we are going to establish our own to ensure that the skills that we produce there are the skills that we need. So if there's a shortage of a particular skill, we then design a program to address that skill particularly so that we have people who can then be absorbed in and start providing those skills. So at EThekwini Municipal Academy has been helpful in that. As we speak, there's an advert that is out for an apprenticeship program. We are targeting young people who have matric with maths and science, or those who went to your FET colleges who have N2 to then come in and apply. It's going to be focused on these scarce skills. Your auto electricians, those are the people who will be doing fixing cars in some ways in terms of the electrical appliances in the car. We have people who are called millwrights. Those are the people who will be setting up machines at factories and all of those things, and other technicians relating to that. We have plumbers and other related artisan skills that we are looking to build, because we've noticed that in our own workforce, that is where the shortage is. And therefore, we are calling for the youth, and the application closes on the 15th of June, just next week. So we are calling on all youth who qualifies to apply and see if they can get an opportunity to do that. But besides that, we have a lot of other programs geared for the youth located at EThekwini Municipal Academy. Your internships, your learnerships, and your graduate programs, where we take in graduates who internally and externally who have qualified in particular fields, but where they are not able to get on the job experience, to come in and practice for 2 years. After that, they are free to then go out to the market and find jobs. So it has been working very well. Besides that, we have your Human Resources Office, which also have a youth element. Just recently, they hosted a youth employability indaba and expo, which was very successful. In this, we are targeting schools, especially those in poor areas, as the department will categorize them as quintile 1, quintile 2, and quintile 3. And also special schools, because part of this is to integrate the entirety of society, including people with disabilities, learners with disabilities. And therefore, we've so this year, around 300 learners attended from around 40 schools. And there were exhibitors from 20 different organizations, including universities. We are a university city, so there are a lot of universities around, but there's no way of connecting universities with learners in schools, especially those schools in disadvantaged areas. So the municipality provides such a platform where universities came to exhibit. Private universities like your Nkosenhle and others, they are littered all over the city. People who want to apply for a university will tell you that the CAO, that office is very hard to find. So we brought them here to exhibit and to assist kids with applications and all of that. So that exhibition is to ensure that your bursary schemes, your SETAs and everyone else, is to ensure that we have an ongoing program that empowers the youth, so that with information, with opportunities, so that they are geared towards university and finding jobs afterwards. That office, the HR department, also have around the city 23 centers of excellence. It's called HR Centers of Excellence. It's a municipal, it's like a municipal internet cafe. We'll find that we'll set up a room with 20 or odd computers with trained staff, trained to assist you if you want to come in and create your own CV, if you want to get into our platform called eCareers and create your own profile, load your information once, because one of the complaints that we've been getting is that unemployed youth will complain that their money is getting wasted on photocopying your IDs and CVs and everything else, because they apply every 2 weeks, and if you are not lucky enough, you'll be applying for a year, and by the end of the year you'll have wasted a lot of money on that. Now this platform, this eCareers platform, provides for that. You just load once and we are done. Every time, even if you want to update your CV, you can update it online and you don't have to. Now, people in Mbumbulu will tell you that we don't have internet access. If you want to go to town, you must use a lot of money to come to town. Now, Ubabu Mayor just recently opened another HR Center of Excellence in Mbumbulu. Now, the youth around that area now have access to this service, which is going to empower them. Loaded in the programs in those centers of excellence, programs that link with our own vacancy circulars, from all the departments, meaning the government departments, even your SOEs. We are lobbying private sector to also load their own vacancies into our system, so that as a young person sitting in front of that computer, you are treated to a whole world of vacancies that are around, and you can get advice on the spot on how to. So those are part of the programs that we have as a city to empower the youth.
Councillor, you have touched on a very important point about the human capital centers of excellence, and yes, they are diverse. They have a lot of services. They offer an array of services, but I think, yes, it might be a topic on the side, but I think it's very relevant to the topic that we're talking about today, because we have rolled out a lot of these centers in EThekwini. Can you just touch on that and maybe be specific on the services that are offered in these centers? Maybe you can even mention the number of centers that we have.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. These HR centers of excellence are geared towards helping the youth to access different municipal services, but also to connect to the digital world out there in terms of our 4R and smart city goals. You'll find that in those centers, you have a dedicated staff that is trained to assist. If you want to go there and create your own CV, create your profile and all of that, it also gives you access to internet generally. Even if you are not sitting in front of the computer, you have your own phone, you have access to Wi-Fi, which you can then use to download programs into your phone and to download and go home and work. It also assists you. There are people who are there to assist you if you just want to come in and do your assignments. You can then come in and do your assignments. It's not like a computer in the library, because there's much competition in that computer, you'll find that there are fewer and the space is also diverse. This one is dedicated. You can go there and sit in a computer for hours and without being interrupted. The internet service is unlimited. It's not like you are given just a few megabytes, and once you've exhausted them, it's done. It's an ongoing thing, and you can sit there and finalize everything that you want to do. So the service is good. We have 23 centers so far, situated in almost all corners of our city. As I was saying, the furthest south is at Imbumbulu. We have a center furthest north in Otongati. We have centers in the west. We recently opened one in Claremont, which was not there. So we are continuing to open these centers in areas where services are not there, to ensure that at least our people have a fighting chance in terms of getting connected to the digital world, finding jobs, applying for jobs, or applying for school or doing schoolwork.
Hloko mhlambe siyacela ukuthi ukunaba kancane kwindaba ye-youth noma indaba yabantu abasha abasemabhizinisini. Ngabe sinazo inhlelo zokubathuthukisa abantu?
Yeah, no, thank you very much. We have programs that are geared for all facets of youth activities, including youth in business. We have a business support unit, which provides training to different organizations. You can be an NPO, you can be an organization, or you can just be a business person on your own, like you have a CK. You can come in, get training, get advice, and actually be assisted to come up with a business plan. By the time you leave, you are ready. And also in terms of your compliance, your compliance in terms of all these supply chain compliance, so that you can be able to trade with the city, trade with all government departments and all of that. When you leave those offices, you already have everything that you need, and you are ready to then go on and work. For instance, there are young people in agriculture. Uvuyo Chaya runs that section in that department dealing with agriculture. There are young people who have benefited greatly from those initiatives, who are running their successful businesses in agriculture. I know that many young people, when they think of opening up businesses, they think digital space and all of that. But there are young people who have, the last I checked, their turnover before COVID-19, their turnover was close to R1 million a month dealing with agriculture. And that was youth located somewhere in the north, I think in the area of Ward 3, Umzinyati. Yes. We can follow up on that and see how far they've gone now, because their business was growing. But there are many other initiatives that are done. I know that Parks Department, for instance, runs around 10 youth initiatives in agriculture. It's community gardens that are run purely by the youth. They've been trained, they've been supported by the municipality, and they are thriving. So there are many initiatives that are there for young people. There's as we are going towards your Durban July. Fashion is going to be the talk of the town. Yes. Our city, through the business support and tourism departments, is training youth in terms of fashion designing and all the facets relating to that craft. The success story there is that some of the youth that emerged from one of the competitions that was being run by the department went as far as going to Milan. You know that Italy is a fashion capital of the world. Yes, they went to Milan and to hone their craft. They came back, and they are now proper business people who have been assisted by the city to go on and build their lives and build the country. So we are encouraging other business, other youth interested in business, who are already in business, maybe you need assistance, to come into our offices, seek help, and I'm sure they are going to get to where they are trying to go.
With the current high youth unemployment rates, what would be your advice to abantu abasha that have lost hope for the future?
No, thank you very much. I know that sometimes when you are facing unemployment or facing hardships in your life, you think that you are alone, or you think that no one has been in the worse situation than you are. But I want to assure you that there have been people who have been in a worse condition, worse position than you are, who have picked themselves up by their bootstraps and move forward. So I encourage every young person out there who has lost hope to wake up, come forward, seek help. The municipality is here to assist young people. If we cannot be assisted in terms of the services that we are offering, we can direct you to other available services to get help. Don't lose hope. There's hope for the future, and if we work together, we can build a future we can all be proud of.
Thank you so much, Hlogo, for joining us and sharing valuable information on our youth development programs.
Sebo.
We've come to the end of our episode. Thank you very much for joining us, and please do join us next time every Wednesday for the EThekwini Matters podcast.